Julia Botella. She is one of the founding members of the Parti Indigène de la République in France. You may know that indigène, the category indigenous in France is used to refer to the colonial subjects of the Republic of France. And so the party has taken this category to try to unite a decolonial movement around the racialized colonial subjects in France. Julia has published the book that we're going to hear about, The Whites, the Jews, and Us, Towards a Politics of Revolutionary Love. And this has been translated into several, well, at least into English and Spanish. This is the Spanish copy, and we'll give the word to Julia.
Thank you. Salam alaikum. Bonjour. Je vais parler en français et je m'en excuse.
I will speak in French and I beg you to understand.
Je voulais remercier l'association de cette invitation et j'en suis vraiment très honorée.
I want to give my thanks to this association, to this organization, and I'm really honored.
Et je voudrais aussi vous remercier tous d'être là pour m'écouter.
And I want to thank you everybody to be here and to listen to me.
Alors effectivement, donc je suis l'auteur de ce livre, Les Blancs, les Juifs et nous, vers une politique de l'amour révolutionnaire.
I am the author of this book, Whites, the Jews and Us, Towards a Revolutionary Love.
Politics of Revolution.
The politics of revolution.
Et je voulais dire surtout que je ne suis pas tellement une écrivaine, mais plutôt une militante. Et c'est à ce titre que je l'ai écrit.
I want to emphasize that I'm not an author, I am a militant, I'm an activist, and it's in that name, as an activist, I've written this book.
Et donc je l'ai également écrit à partir d'une expérience sociale, celle des sujets postcoloniaux en France.
So this book is written from a social experience, the social experience of being a post-colonial subject in France.
Et d'une expérience politique, celle d'un mouvement décolonial qui est le Parti des Indigènes de la République, qui existe depuis 15 ans.
And from a political experience, the experience of being
part of the indigenous.
Part of the indigenous movement, Parti des Indigènes de la République, en France, these last 15 years.
Et donc c'est à ce titre que je suis là.
And it's from that perspective, from that point of view that I'm here today.
Alors ce livre, je voudrais en faire une petite présentation de 10 minutes et ensuite on va ouvrir la discussion.
So I will give a little presentation of the book, 10 minutes, and then I will open the floor for discussion.
And Rachid will ask questions.
Yes.
Thank you for that. Donc ce livre, je l'ai conçu comme une rupture épistémologique, comme une rupture idéologique, comme une rupture politique avec la blanchité et la modernité occidentale.
So I have conceived this book as a rupture, an epistemological rupture, a political rupture, and you said? An ideological rupture with
avec la blanchité, avec la modernité
with the whiteness and the Western modernity, the Western modernity project.
Et je pense qu'on ne peut pas bâtir une alternative politique dans le cadre du monde dans lequel nous vivons sans une rupture radicale.
Because I think that we cannot really build a political alternative without this kind of rupture.
Nous savons, peut-être, si nous sommes des militants, que nous arrivons aux limites de la logique occidentale.
If we are militants, we know that we have come to the limits of Western logic.
Que les ressources de la Terre sont épuisées et que nous avons devant nous le fascisme qui arrive.
We know that Earth resources are expiring and that we have in front of us fascism.
Donc à ce titre, il me semble, si nous pensons, et si collectivement nous pensons qu'il faut résister à cette barbarie et lui trouver une alternative, la rupture ne peut être que radicale.
So if we think collectively about this, we will see that the only thing we have in front of us is this rupture.
Et cette rupture, elle doit être politique, évidemment.
And this rupture has to be political.
Et cette rupture politique, elle a comme horizon, effectivement, une nouvelle utopie qu'il faut créer et inventer.
And this rupture has a horizon, a new utopia, but it is an utopia that we have to invent.
Mais il faut l'inventer à partir de notre situation et de notre condition concrète.
And we have to invent this utopia according to our current situation, our concrete situation.
Ma situation concrète, c'est d'être un sujet postcolonial vivant dans le Nord.
And my concrete situation is being a post-colonial subject living in the North.
Vivant au cœur de l'impérialisme.
In the heart of imperialism.
Donc à partir de là, notre devoir politique est particulier à cette situation.
So our political our political duty is to address this situation.
Voilà. Et quelle est la situation concrète? C'est une situation d'abord d'impérialisme. L'État français dans lequel je vis est un État impérialiste.
And the concrete situation is being in an imperialistic state. The French state is an imperialistic state.
L'armée française, malgré les indépendances africaines, l'armée française est toujours en Afrique.
And despite the African project of independence, the French army is still present in Africa.
La monnaie française, le franc CFA, c'est la monnaie qui s'échange en Afrique.
And the French currency
dans l'Afrique française, enfin, ex-colonie française.
And the French currency is still being used in the former colonies of France.
La France a participé à la destruction de la Libye.
France was part of the destruction of Libya.
Et la France continue de tenter de maintenir son hégémonie partout où elle le peut.
And France is still trying to maintain its hegemony wherever it can do that.
Donc ça, c'est la première situation. La deuxième situation, c'est que les sujets post-coloniaux en France vivent une situation de racisme structurel.
And the second situation is that post-colonial subjects in France are living a situation of structural racism.
C'est-à-dire que le projet français, le projet français officiel, c'est de faire de nous des Français.
And the official French project is to turn us into French subjects.
Mais la réalité française, c'est qu'elle ne veut pas faire de nous des Français.
But the reality is that France doesn't want to turn us into French subjects.
Donc il y a, si vous voulez, un discours contradictoire qui consiste à vouloir nous intégrer sans jamais nous intégrer.
So there is a contradictory discourse that officially says that it wants to integrate us, but it really doesn't want to integrate us.
Lorsque je parle de sujets postcoloniaux, je parle essentiellement de populations qui viennent du Maghreb, d'Afrique noire et des Antilles, et également des Roms.
When I talk about post-colonial subject in France, I talk about the Maghrebian population from the northern part of Africa, the sub-Saharan Africa, from Antilles, and from
The Roma people.
The Roma people.
Il y a aussi des gens qui viennent d'Asie ou d'Inde, mais c'est beaucoup plus rare.
There is a population coming from, there are groups coming from Asia and India, but they are fewer.
Voilà. Et donc, en tant que groupe vivant des discriminations structurelles, nous pensons qu'il faut nous organiser en tant que groupe qui vit ces discriminations.
So we think that as a group that are living under structural discrimination, we have to organize according to that.
Voilà. Et la première des choses que nous avons tenté de faire, c'est d'élaborer une théorie politique.
So one of the first thing we are trying to do is to elaborate a political theory.
Et cette élaboration politique, elle est axée sur la remise en cause de la modernité occidentale.
And our political elaboration, our political theory, is based on the problematization of the Western modernity.
La remise en cause.
La remise en cause. Problematization, c'est pas ça?
La remise en cause, ça veut dire...
Question. The questioning. Good.
La remise en cause. Et ce livre, dont je vais dire un mot, est une des pièces, disons, de cette remise en cause.
And this book is part of this questioning, the questioning of Western modernity.
Et ce que j'ai souhaité faire dans ce livre, notamment, c'est de remettre en cause l'édifice idéologique de ce que j'appelle la bonne conscience blanche.
And what I want to do with this book is to question the construction of the white good conscience.
Parce que la bonne conscience française en particulier est fondée sur l'idée d'un humanisme supérieur et de ce que les Français appellent l'universalisme.
And the French version of this good conscience is based about ideas of humanism and ideas of its universality.
Alors oui, ils ont conquis le monde, mais ils ont aussi inventé l'universalisme, ils ont aussi inventé les droits de l'homme, ils ont aussi inventé l'égalité homme-femme, ils ont inventé beaucoup de très belles idées utiles à toute l'humanité.
Yes, they have conquered the world, but at the same time they have invented all of these ideas, about universalism, humanism and gender equality.
Et donc, les crimes dont ils ont été coupables sont d'une certaine manière équilibrés par tout ce qu'ils ont apporté à l'humanité.
So the crimes that they have done to the colonies is balanced by these kind of inventions, these ideas.
Et surtout, ils parlent de la colonisation comme si la colonisation faisait partie du passé strictement.
And they talk, and maybe most important is that they talk about the colonial project as if it was in the past.
Voilà. Or, le colonialisme français, c'est du colonialisme présent.
But we have to see that French colonialism is a present colonialism.
Donc ce livre est une tentative de remettre en cause la bonne conscience blanche.
So this book is a trial, is an effort to question the white good conscience.
Qui cache le suprémacisme blanc des Français.
That hidens the French white supremacy.
Et jusqu'à 2005, les Français, contrairement aux Américains, ne se disaient pas blancs, puisqu'ils sont universels.
And since the French thought of themselves as being universal subjects, they didn't thought of themselves as white until 2005.
Parce que c'est en 2005, donc les Français ont découvert qu'ils étaient blancs en 2005.
So the French people discovered that they were white in 2005.
Yes. Comment? Eh bien parce que nous avons lancé l'appel des indigènes de la République, qui ne disaient pas qu'ils étaient blancs, mais qui disaient que nous étions des indigènes.
And how did they discover that? Because we make this call about les indigènes de la République, the Republic's indigenous people, saying that yes, we are the indigenous people of the Republic. And that being said, we call them white.
En effet, avec le mot indigène de la République, nous avons explosé, d'une certaine manière, le mythe de l'égalité républicaine.
And with these words, indigène de la République, the Republic's indigenous, we have unveiled the myth of the
Egalitarian Republic.
the egalitarian republic.
Parce que s'il y a des indigènes, si cette catégorie existe à l'intérieur de l'État-nation français, c'est qu'il y a quel est le nom de l'autre catégorie?
Because if this concept exists, is a very word indigenous exists, what is the other word that is in relation to within the republic?
Nous avons donc exprimé aux Français que s'il y avait des indigènes, c'est qu'il y a des blancs.
So we said to the French people that yes, if there are indigenous people, then there's white people.
Et ça a été la grande révélation de 2005.
And that was a big discovery of 2005.
Yes. There is the discovery of 1492.
Yeah.
Yes. And this one. Eh bien, en 2005, le mot blanchité a créé un débat incroyable.
So in 2005, the very word whiteness caused a very big debate, incredible debate.
Mais oui, puisque tout d'un coup, tout le mythe républicain s'effondrait.
The Republican myth just fall apart.
Ideologically speaking, not in reality. Et donc, à partir du moment où ces deux catégories se sont mises à exister, eh bien, ça a été le début, d'une certaine manière, de la possibilité d'une lutte décoloniale.
So when these two categories were present in the debate, that was the beginning of the possibility to deconstruct.
Non, of the decolonial struggle.
So, the decolonial struggle.
D'accord. Et donc, dans ce livre, je disais que j'essayais ou je tentais de remettre en cause la bonne conscience blanche en mettant en avant, alors d'abord en fusillant Sartre.
Wow, fusil. So in this book I tried to question the white good conscience in France by first step is to arquebusier, to kill Sartre.
Yeah.
By shooting him.
Donc,
To shoot Sartre.
this is the first chapter of my book, to shoot Sartre. And Sartre, yes, yes. To shoot Sartre is, for me, it's very important. And when I wrote to shoot Sartre, people were very shocked, and I said to them, but he's dead. Don't worry, he's dead. I kill him in another way. So, alors donc, c'était important de tuer la grande icône philosophique de France.
It was really important to kill this big philosophical icon in France, Sartre.
Pas par plaisir.
Not by pleasure.
Because Sartre, je le dis, Sartre était un grand philosophe et un grand militant.
Not by pleasure because Sartre was a big thinker and with a big militant activist.
Il a eu des positions extrêmement courageuses sur l'Algérie, extrêmement courageuses sur le Vietnam.
He had very, very courageous positions in the debate in relation to Algeria, in relation to Vietnam.
Et il a été menacé de mort par l'extrême droite.
And he received death threats by the far-right movements.
Et donc, la contradiction de Sartre, c'est qu'il a été très anticolonialiste et il a heurté sa propre blanchité, c'est-à-dire qu'il n'est pas allé au fond de la lutte contre sa blanchité, parce que, par ailleurs, il a été pro-israélien.
So the big contradiction in Sartre was that he had a very clear anti-colonial position, but there was a big contradiction in where he kind of hurt his own whiteness because he was pro the construction of the Israel state.
Yes. Et donc c'est là où pour moi, il fait la démonstration de sa bonne conscience.
And for me, that is, as I see it, this is the demonstration of his good conscience.
Et c'est pour ça que le blanc à l'intérieur de Sartre n'a pas été tué.
And for me, this is the whiteness within Sartre, the white position, wasn't killed.
Yes. Parce que il se sentait coupable par rapport aux Juifs, au génocide des Juifs en Europe, ce qui est normal. Mais pour se débarrasser de sa culpabilité, il a accepté le projet colonial qui allait déposséder les Palestiniens.
So as I see it, he was feeling guilty about the genocide of the Jewish people, very rightly. But in order to get rid of this sentiment of guilty, he accepted the colonial project in relation to the Palestinian people.
Et c'est la raison pour laquelle j'ai écrit dans mon livre, dans le chapitre Tuer Sartre, non, fusiller Sartre, j'ai écrit qu'il est mort blanc.
And that's why in my book I write that Sartre was killed, met dead as a white man.
Mais j'ai tenu dans le livre à montrer qu'on pouvait être un blanc décolonial.
But I wanted to show in my book that it is possible for you to be a white decolonial subject.
Ce que je veux dire, c'est que la blanchité, on peut échapper, un blanc peut échapper à la blanchité politiquement.
So you can escape whiteness politically.
Pas socialement, parce que aucun blanc n'est responsable d'être blanc.
Not socially, because white people are not responsible of their whiteness.
Mais ils peuvent faire le choix d'en finir avec la blanchité.
But you can make the choice to end whiteness within you.
Et c'est la raison pour laquelle j'ai mis la figure de Sartre au regard de la figure de Jean Genet.
So that's why I put the figure or the position of Sartre in relation to the position of Jean Genet.
Un Jean Genet qui a été extrêmement clair sur le colonialisme en général.
Jean Genet that was really, really clear in relation to colonialism.
Qui a été clair sur les questions de l'immigration en France.
And was really clear also in relation to the issues related to migration to France, immigration.
Il a été très clair sur la question palestinienne.
But it was also very clear in relation to the Palestinian issue.
C'est ce que j'appelle un blanc décolonial.
And that's what I call a decolonial white.
Donc ça, c'était tout ce qui concerne la bonne conscience.
That's about the good conscience. In the issue of good conscience in the book.
C'est pour ça que le livre commence par Tuer Sartre, parce que c'est le premier pas pour le projet politique décolonial.
And that's why the book begins by shooting Sartre, because this is the first step in the decolonial project, political decolonial project.
Parce que je pense, si je fais correspondre la figure de Sartre avec la gauche française, eh bien, je dis juste, j'offre en tout cas à la gauche française la possibilité aussi de devenir décoloniale, parce que la gauche française est blanche, et donc je pense que pour un projet décolonial, il faut qu'une partie de la gauche devienne décoloniale.
So that's why where I compare the position of Sartre with the current position of the French left. And I see that I give them a choice, I give them an alternative, I give them a way, because the French left has to deal with this, has to make this choice, its whiteness.
Yes, it's very white.
And the French left is very, very white.
Et donc, je vais finir puisqu'il faut qu'on passe aux questions. Et donc, du coup, dans ce qui m'a paru intéressant, enfin, le découpage du livre, c'est que je m'adresse à la catégorie raciale blanche, je m'adresse à la catégorie raciale juive, parce que les juifs ne sont pas des blancs, mais ils sont des prétendants à la blanchité. Sorry.
Okay. And to finalize this discussion before we take the questions from Rashid, this is a way of addressing the racial category of the white people, but also to address the category of the Jews, because the Jews are part of this.
No, because the Jews are not white.
The Jews are not white.
Parce que les Juifs ne sont pas blancs, mais les Juifs, mais l'État français a voulu intégrer les Juifs dans la blanchité.
The Jews are not white, but the French state wanted to integrate the Jews within whiteness. No, within the state.
Within whiteness.
Yeah.
À l'intérieur, mais sans jamais devenir de véritables blancs.
But without really ever admitting them within whiteness.
Yes.
Unconditional.
Et donc il y a en France une hiérarchie raciale. Il y a les blancs tout en haut, il y a les Juifs au milieu, et il y a les non-blancs venus des colonies, les Noirs, les musulmans, les Arabes, les Indiens, tout en bas.
So there is a racial hierarchy in France. There is the whites on top, and there is Jews, and there is Arabs and other post-colonial subjects at the bottom.
Yes. Et donc je me suis adressée à ces deux catégories, et ensuite je me suis adressée aux femmes indigènes, parce qu'il y a une condition spécifique des femmes indigènes, et je me suis adressée aux indigènes en général.
So I address two categories, and then the next chapter I address the indigenous women, because it's an important category, and then I address the indigenous people in general.
Et j'ai voulu terminer par Allahu Akbar.
And I wanted to end with Allah Akbar.
D'abord parce que, évidemment, en France, dire Allahu Akbar, c'est déjà du terrorisme.
Because in France, when you say that, Allah Akbar, that's considered as terrorism.
Mais c'est surtout parce que je voulais finir avec une épistémologie d'une partie du monde opprimé racialement.
But also because I wanted to end the book with an epistemology coming from a part of the world that is oppressed racially.
Voilà. Et donc, pour considérer et pour faire une proposition d'amour révolutionnaire qui consiste à dire l'altérité radicale, celle des musulmans, celle qui est construite comme altérité radicale, l'islam, eh bien, l'islam, pour moi, fait partie de la solution décoloniale.
So that was in order to propose, my proposal is about revolutionary love, and seeing that what is the radical alterity, Islam, for me, is part of the solution.
Yes. It was just a general presentation of the book.
Thank you very much. Yeah, you can of course. I have a few questions, but I will also let you know you can also, you will have some time to give some questions to Huri as well. So you just write it down so you don't forget them. It's an honor to have this conversation with her. I just read this book a couple of weeks ago, and I haven't had an epiphany of reading something since the autobiography of Malcolm X, actually, Al Taylor. So this one means a lot to me, and puts also a lot of words on the emotions that I felt for a long time. So thank you, and for having me at least. And in this book, as you mentioned, you're talking about, you're questioning the solidarity between minorities. You're talking also about the critiquing of the left and the whiteness, Islamophobia, state racism, and so on. And my first question is really that in this day of age, when we talk about racism, we talk about racism without any racist. Like for instance, if we talk about racism, I'm talking about the general anti-racist movements, the mainstream anti-racist movements. When they address the issue of racism, there are no perpetrators. There are no racists. It's just it's like a natural cause, like an earthquake or sandstorm. But you address quite, you address the issue of the perpetrator, the state, and the institutions, and also the white conscience. And my question is really you have the colonial that is very clear, but you also have a group of white majority society who feel themselves being tolerant, but still manage to uphold colonial systems. And how should we, address those issues towards those people? And what kind of feedback have you received since you have been addressing the good white conscience, especially from the left?
Alors, the last question first. Alors d'abord, ce livre a été extrêmement attaqué dans toute la presse nationale.
I just want to begin by saying that this book has been attacked from a lot in the national mass media, from everywhere.
Alors je précise, pas par l'extrême droite.
Not, I want to, but not by the far right.
Il a été attaqué par les médias mainstream.
It was attacked by the mainstream media.
Et par tous les médias de la gauche radicale.
And by every media from the radical left.
Et par les antifascistes.
And by anti-fascists.
Donc en fait, de deux choses l'une. Soit c'est parce que je suis très raciste et qu'ils l'ont vu.
So there is two possibilities here. Either I'm very, very racist and they saw that.
Ou bien j'ai touché un nœud.
Or I touch a sensitive spot.
Voilà. J'ai la prétention de penser que j'ai touché un point sensible.
And as I see it, yes, I touch a very sensible, touchy spot.
Et effectivement, la France a ses secrets. Les Français ont leurs secrets. Et c'est le fait d'avoir dénoué tout ça, d'avoir révélé, ou en tout cas de ne pas avoir peur de le dire, et surtout de pouvoir penser cette complexité qui a fait réagir tout le monde de manière aussi négative.
So, as I see it, France has its secrets, and when I unveiled that, when I articulated that, and I wasn't afraid of saying that, that's what caused a lot of affect, within the French society.
Parce que la bonne conscience, ça sert pour les Français à rester debout et dignes et fiers.
Because the good consciousness for French people, it's used to stay up and stay dignified, in a dignified position.
Et surtout, ça permet de rester innocent.
And it helps them to stay innocent.
C'est ça le nœud de l'affaire, c'est l'innocence.
That is the...
Le nœud.
That is
The knot.
the knot.
Yeah.
That's kind of the node,
The core
the core of the issue. Yeah.
Parce que James Baldwin disait quelque chose de très juste. L'innocence permet de perpétuer le crime.
And that's what James Baldwin articulated. He said that innocence makes it possible for a crime to be perpetuated.
Voilà. Et donc, le Parti des indigènes, le mouvement décolonial en général, se lève pour dire il faut arrêter le crime.
So what the indigenous party is saying and the decolonial movement is saying is that we have to stop the crime.
Voilà. Le problème, et c'est ça aussi un des nœuds de l'affaire, c'est que le crime enrichit la France.
And the problem is, and that's the complexity of this issue, is that this core is making France richer. Rich.
Renoncer au crime, c'est renoncer à la richesse.
to say no to the crime is to say no to capital, richness.
Et c'est ça le grand problème auquel nous sommes confrontés.
And that is the big problem that we have to confront.
Et c'est pour ça que le fascisme a un grand avenir devant lui.
And that's why fascism has a big future in front of it.
Parce que il est évident que les Blancs n'ont aucune raison objective de renoncer à leur niveau de vie.
Because white people doesn't really have any objective reason to say no to their standards of life.
Et donc nous avons ici un dilemme, et nous avons ici un grand défi.
And that is a big dilemma, but that's also a big défi.
Challenge. Alors, je vais juste dire un mot sur le défi. La seule issue que moi je vois, c'est de proposer une solution de paix. Parce que poursuivre le crime et aller vers le fascisme, c'est nécessairement aller vers la guerre.
And in relation to this issue, this challenge, my offer is an offer of a peace solution. Because to keep on perpetuating the crime is to keep on perpetuating fascism, and by necessity, this means war.
Une guerre qui existe déjà, évidemment.
A war that is already here.
Qui est partout dans le sud.
And that is everywhere in the global south.
Mais qui monte vers le nord.
But that is climbing to the northern part, to the global north.
Et effectivement, à l'intérieur des démocraties occidentales,
and within the Western democracies,
on sent que la tension, elle monte partout.
You can feel that this tension is climbing everywhere.
Donc il va bien falloir qu'on réfléchisse à une solution de paix.
So we will have to think about a peace solution.
Et la solution de paix est la plus difficile.
And the peace solution is the hardest.
Et surtout, elle a beaucoup de conditions.
And it comes with a lot of conditions.
Voilà. Et donc, je laisse ouvert la question, évidemment, de qu'est-ce qu'on peut proposer aux Blancs, mais c'est un projet politique, en fait.
So, what I do is I leave the issue open about what we can offer white people. But this is a political discussion.
And I think I didn't answer the first question.
No.
Was it out?
No, you did actually. About the solution.
Okay.
Peaceful solution.
Fine.
No.
That's fine.
And I have one more question, but I'll instead give the questions to the audience because we don't have that much time left. So, and you were raising your hand.
Yes.
Shoot.
I have been
On a
French,
peaceful.
so I know your work a bit, and I would say that I remember when your position regarding Libya invasion, I respect that. When you said that you had attack from the left or more radical left, don't you think that one point was that you include Muslim position in your political views? I think in France it's a very clashing position too, because of this laïcité, don't you think?
I don't think. Alors d'abord, je ne crois. Nous ne sommes pas un mouvement religieux, parce qu'en fait, l'indigène, il peut être chrétien, il peut être musulman, il peut ne pas avoir de religion. Donc le mouvement des indigènes en tant que tel n'est pas un mouvement religieux.
Okay, I don't think so, because the movement of the indigenous people is not a religious movement, because indigenous people can be Christian or Muslim or even don't have a religion.
En fait, nous défendons les musulmans contre le racisme que vivent les musulmans.
What we do is that we try to defend the Muslim people from Islamophobia, from anti-Muslim racism.
Et donc, alors évidemment, on ne fait pas que défendre les musulmans. Nous disons également que les populations dont la culture est opprimée ont le droit de s'en revendiquer.
So we just not only do that. What we say is basically that we say that the oppressed people have the right to defend themselves or to organize against it.
À partir de leur culture opprimée.
From their oppressed culture.
Yes. C'est-à-dire qu'en fait, les gens qui ont une culture opprimée, mais pas simplement les musulmans, les Antillais par exemple.
So
Les Antillais qui veulent par exemple sauver la langue créole contre le français par exemple, pour nous, c'est une lutte décoloniale.
So when oppressed people are starting their fight from the point of view, the starting point of their culture, and want to defend that culture against the colonial project, that is a decolonial project in itself.
Donc c'est ça que nous faisons.
That's what we do.
Et évidemment, quand on défend des musulmans, on est accusé d'être des islamistes.
But when we defend Muslim people, we are accused of being Islamist.
What can we do about that?
Yes, any more questions? I think we have time for one more, right? No? I don't know.
Can we continue?
I think there is no issue.
There is no issue.
We have no issues with continuing.
Okay,
Let's
but
go.
you have a plan. Go ahead.
But I have a flight to catch.
You have a flight.
Yeah. And I can at least continue.
Yeah, we have time.
And any more questions? All right, I can ask one of my questions then. And in your book, you also talk about the post-colonial subject in the heart of imperialism. That is the indigenous or the non-white people. And what role do we have, or some of us have, to uphold the colonial system? And because in your book, you're quite honest, being that there are some of us that are quite privileged among us, and we do sometimes uphold a colonial system that we want to dismantle. And could you elaborate something about it?
Alors, d'abord, je ne pouvais pas commencer ce livre sans déjà parler de ma propre responsabilité.
It was not possible for me to begin this book without addressing my own responsibility.
En tant que sujet postcolonial vivant en Europe, je suis à la fois victime de racisme, mais je suis également blanchie.
As a post-colonial subject in Europe, I am at the same time a victim for racism, but I am also whitened.
Je suis blanchie. Nous faisons la distinction entre les indigènes de la République et les damnés de la terre.
I am white man, and we make this distinction between the indigenous of the Republic and
the post-colonial subjects in the north.
The post-colonial subject in the north, the indigenous people, the subject, post-colonial subject, and the rich of the earth.
Voilà. Nous ne sommes pas des damnés de la terre.
We are not rich of the earth.
Nous ne sommes pas aujourd'hui, il y a des gens qui vivent la guerre impérialiste en Libye, au Mali, en Syrie, en Irak, au Congo, la guerre militaire ou bien la guerre économique. Et ceux-là sont des damnés de la terre.
There are people today that are experiencing, that are living war, imperialist war in Libya, in Iraq, and those are the rich of the earth.
Yes, le Mali, le Congo.
Le Mali, le Congo,
je disais une guerre impérialiste militaire ou économique.
And I'm talking about imperialist war that has a military and or economic.
Okay. Et donc, moi dans le Nord, je bénéficie des privilèges des Blancs.
In the North, I'm taking part of the white privilege.
Je parle souvent de mon passeport qui me permet de voyager partout dans le monde, ce qui n'est pas le cas des migrants qui viennent mourir en Méditerranée, par exemple.
I just can take as an example my passport that makes it possible for me to travel all around the world. That's not a privilege that the migrants that try to cross the Mediterranean Sea have.
J'ai des droits syndicaux.
I have union rights.
J'ai des droits politiques.
I have political rights.
Ma vie n'est pas en danger tous les jours.
My life is not in danger every day.
C'est un privilège blanc.
That's a white privilege.
Et donc, je ne suis pas extérieure à la reproduction du racisme.
I'm not outside the reproduction of racism.
Et j'ajoute à cela qu'il y a une différence entre moi, qui milite dans une organisation politique décoloniale, et les indigènes sociaux.
And there is a difference also between me as a militant within a decolonial movement and the social indigenous.
J'ai dit tout à l'heure qu'on avait le choix, qu'un blanc avait le choix d'échapper à sa blanchité politiquement. J'ai aussi le choix d'échapper à mon blanchiment politiquement.
As I mentioned earlier, white people have the choice to escape their whiteness politically, and similarly, I have the choice to escape to my white privilege, or my white witness politically.
Politically. Et la plupart des indigènes de France ne veulent pas échapper à leur blanchité.
And the majority of the indigenous people in France, they don't want to escape their whiteness.
Au contraire, ils en veulent plus.
In the contrary, they want more.
Et c'est ça que nous appelons l'intégration.
And that's what we call integration.
Et c'est la raison pour laquelle nous, en tant que mouvement politique, nous sommes un mouvement anti-intégrationniste.
And that's why we, as a political movement, we are an anti-integration movement.
Alors que les indigènes sociaux sont intégrationnistes.
But the social indigenous, they are for integration.
Et donc, très clairement, on comprend ici que la blanchité est un rapport social, est un rapport de pouvoir.
So here we can see clearly that whiteness is a social relation, is a social power relation.
Exactement. Et c'est ce que nous disons lorsque nous observons les Juifs de France.
And that's what we say when we observe Jews in France.
C'est ça l'offre qui leur a été faite, c'est de devenir des Blancs.
That was the proposal they were given, to become white.
C'est ce qu'ils ont fait en créant l'État d'Israël, qui est un État blanc.
That was part of the creation of Israel, that's a white state.
Mais en même temps, nous disons aux Juifs sionistes, pas à ceux qui sont anti-sionistes, nous leur disons, le problème, c'est que les Européens, de manière générale, restent antisémites.
And what we say to Zionist Jews, not anti-Zionist Jews, we say that Europeans, they are still anti-Semite.
Yes. Et par exemple, le suprémaciste blanc qui a tué 2 personnes en Allemagne il y a 5-6 jours.
And to take an example, the white supremacist that killed 2 people some days ago,
visait des Juifs.
He was aiming Jews.
Et la police a trouvé chez lui des documents où il exprimait l'idée de vouloir tuer des Juifs et des musulmans.
And the police found in his place documents saying that what he wanted to do is to kill Jews and Muslims.
Et c'est la raison pour laquelle notre proposition en tant que mouvement décolonial, il y a aussi une proposition qui est faite aux Blancs et aussi aux Juifs de rejoindre la lutte décoloniale.
So our proposal within our movement, there is a proposition for white people, but there is also a proposition for Jews. And our proposition for Jews is to take part of our fight, of our movement.
Et donc de renoncer à leur blanchiment.
And to give up their whiteness.
Thank you. Any questions?
One question. When you talk about, I also read your book, and I have a few more questions, but now I want to make it clear, is that when you talk about white, you present, which I completely agree, it is the political question. Like, what is the color of black? It is a question of Jean Genet from Play Blacks. But you give this line of like how somebody can de-white itself. himself or herself, become unwhite. But you don't tell how one becomes black, because a blackness, the way how you present, it sounds a bit more like a essentialist ontological. It's not something which you achieve through struggle. So one is a black, but one can not be white. This is
possible to become black. Because I mean, is it possible to become brown? And has pardon.
no, because it is not about the skin color. It is about a political position. Because what I want to say, if you define as a political, then the consequences of this thesis is that not a black skin makes you politically black. This is what I want to say. So I think this argument should be clarified. That's the thing.
D'abord, le fait d'être noir ou le fait d'être musulman. Alors d'abord, pour reprendre des mots de Sartre, Sartre disait c'est l'antisémitisme qui fait le juif.
To begin, and to use the words of Sartre, Sartre said that it is anti-Semitism that creates the Jew.
Donc c'est le racisme anti-noir qui crée le noir.
So it is anti-black racism that creates black people.
C'est la traite transatlantique, c'est le code noir, c'est la France-Afrique, c'est le racisme en France et en Europe. C'est ça qui crée le noir.
So it is the transatlantic slavery, it is the code noir, I don't know how to say that.
The Ivory Coast.
Yeah,
No,
this
the
is
Black Codex.
the Black Codex, yes, maybe, yes. It is a juridical institutionalization of the slavery, and this is kind of phenomena that creates the black.
Yes.
Et donc, par conséquent, la lutte décoloniale, c'est la lutte qui permet d'abolir la race. Et abolissant la race, il n'y a plus de blanc, il n'y a plus de noir. Les deux disparaissent en même temps.
So the decolonial fight is about to take away race, to abolish race, because when you do that, there was any longer any white or black.
So.
Well,
can I continue?
yeah, I think.
And just to je veux quand même préciser que je ne crois pas à la réforme individuelle.
I just want to emphasize, I do not believe in individual reformation.
Si un blanc dans la salle me dit je vais décider de ne plus être blanc, c'est pas possible.
If somebody that is white in the public individually says, I decide that I will not longer be white, that's not possible.
Donc il s'agit bien d'un processus collectif et politique.
So it is about a collective process, a political collective process.
It was exactly that thesis which encouraged me to ask this question, because you don't take a blackness as some whiteness or blackness as some individual psychological affective thing whatsoever. Of course, this is a liberal story. Clearly, when you declare it is a political thing, blackness, it is a collective struggle. But if the color, if it's the politics which makes that color, then what I wanted to say, why we call it a black? This is my question, because if we talk in that sense, as you, for example, describe it as Sartre, it changes all the time, when Sartre is black, when Sartre is white. So it is in a way, I don't think this is the holding ground for discussion of the collective position of this politics, if there is such. This is, I mean, I will try to make it more clear, but yeah.
I don't think Sartre changes. Once it comes to Israel, then Sartre shows what Sartre is.
Is this Israel indicator of whiteness and blackness?
In case of Sartre, maybe? I don't know.
It's not an indicator of blackness. It's an indicator of the limits of the white anti-colonialism. This is it, the limits of anti-colonialism. You have to be 100% anti-colonial. You understand? When you are that, it's okay for me. But if you are anti-colonial for Algeria and not for Palestine, what does it mean?
But
You have to explain that. And I think that the Jewish question, it could be something else, but the Jewish question is the place where white people put their dignity. They want to protect the Jews. They want to protect them. They want to protect them, but without respecting them really. I don't know if you
but
understand.
we
Sorry, we have more questions here. You had a hand up, and then you, right? You had a hand up. So you and yeah, and I think.
So, I think, I mean, to me it sounds like it's not just political. I mean, I would like her to kind of continue that if it's blackness or, I mean, from the book I just read whiteness, so I'm talking about whiteness, I don't want to talk about blackness, but is whiteness only political? Because I think it's more. But to give, I think it also has the quality of like the reality of what we live in every day as Muslim or as colored people of color. But I want to give an example of Malcolm X, for example, when he was in North Africa, they asked him that, would you include any white people in your movement? And his response was absolutely not. But the second part was, if John Brown was alive, we would include John Brown, which John Brown is the revolutionary, anti-abolitionist American person, militant. So my question is, if somebody can escape whiteness politically, then what would they become, or what would they be? Because it seems like an easy solution.
It's not so
But
much
you
maybe.
don't escape it,
Yeah.
no?
Yeah.
I mean, it's not a matter of
Yeah, but maybe I'm misunderstanding. But
What it will become? Decolonial. That's it. It will stay. It will stay white in the society. For example, it will not be controlled by the police, even if it's completely decolonial. But politically, it's an ally. This is it. We can't ask him for more than that. But our project is to make millions of whites becoming decolonial. I think it is a new utopia. This is what I said. I think that fascism is something that is sure for me. But decoloniality, I'm not sure about that. But if you want to have an espoir, a hope, if you want to have a, we have to think that white people can become decolonial. I think for materialistic questions, they're not going to become decolonial. But from a philosophical point of view, it's not genetic to be white. So it's possible. So our project is just to try to make something impossible possible. Which is I think this is very, very difficult. And I don't believe in white people. I'm talking about, collectively speaking, the mass of white people. But it's not because I think they are bad. Because I said that our own people want to become white. So it's not a question of being white or something. It's a question of interest.
so, for example, the reason I asked this, I completely understand that. For example, racism works reverse for indigenous people, like they were whitened by force to disappear, versus for the people of color, they are otherized, or they become the non-white through racism. So to eliminate color, for example, for the indigenous people, the geographic region works differently. So, for example, for the native people, like Sami people in Finland, to say that, we would eliminate color, I don't know how would that work.
Maybe we can take a few questions together because, so you, and there was a question here. So we take these three first and then...
First of all, I want to make clear about
if we're talking about the Sami indigenous people, they're one of the rare indigenous people that can be racially recognized as white. But I'm Palestinian. I'm Finnish, but I'm originally Palestinian. And my first experience going to Palestine was only about 2 years ago. And in my experience, I discussed this with the local people over there, but having to go, for example, through Israeli checkpoints and having to be in interaction with, for example, soldiers on patrol soldiers or whatever, I had this experience that I felt more cold treatment and even sometimes aggressive through Israeli officers that might have been, for example, had an Arab Jewish background, for example, or soldiers that were of color. And I had asked local Palestinians, do you feel this kind of treatment in a way? And they said yes, it's in their ideologies that they said to me, we feel that this is a product of wanting to prove more allegiance to the state. And, and I felt at the end I started actually at that point my image in my head of what is whiteness in terms of thinking of people of color embodying that started to form. Do you think also that that is a product of whiteness?
Of course. Of course. This is the same thing in the US. The cops, the police who are black are more aggressive than the others. In France, it's the same. The police who are Muslims and Arabs or from the West Indies are more aggressive than the others.
Yeah.
They want to show.
Yeah.
They want to show they are loyal.
Yeah.
We have one more question here, and we will have to start closing because we're out of time. So last question. And
Okay, I can give mine up.
No.
We've moved on. It's okay. It's okay. You can go to the next.
I think this gentleman has been given. Okay, just because I didn't understand very well, I haven't read the book, so I'm talking just I listen here. Do you question your being a subject while questioning the whiteness as a subjectivity positioning? So how do you position yourself and how you question yourself meanwhile you are questioning the whiteness? So do you see yourself as Arab, Muslim, indigenous, and is it your subjectivization, so yourself as a subject, or as production of subjectification? So, because, for example, I feel the Muslim, the Islam, I'm coming from Albania, we have been 5 centuries under the Ottomans, and we are majority Muslim. I'm part of a Muslim family, although I'm born as atheist because during Enver Hoxha we didn't have any religion. But so I wanted to just to ask, how do you question your subject as per se? So part of subjectification, that you are subjectivized through Islam, through Arab world, or as you're standing in that position. So do you make a deconstruction of yourself as a subject while deconstructing the whiteness?
I don't do a deconstruction of myself because I don't know who I am. I don't know what it means to be Arab. I think it's very difficult to say what it is. I don't know really what it means to be Muslim. I don't know anything about what is a real identity. I don't know, because it's always changing. When I was young, in France, I was seen as Algerian, because Algeria is something very important in regards to the war of Algeria. So for the French people, even Tunisian people, even Moroccan people, we were all Algerian. It was not depending on what we think about ourselves. We were all Algerian. Then Arabs, and now Muslims. But the state, the French state, decides for us what we are. And I told you here that I'm white. So, it's so, I can't address this question what I am. My subjectivity in this question is not important at all, because everything is escaping from me. And I add to that I could have been more Arab than I am if the Pan-Arabic project succeeded, but it didn't succeed. It's the same. I just want to say that we are always our identity is always depending on a lot of things, of political things, of history, and etc., etc. This is why the only thing I'm sure about it is that I am a human being and that I'm going to die.
Yes, but
I'm sure about that. No, I just want to finish. And then, while saying that, in France, I claim that I am Muslim. I claim that I am Arab. I claim that I'm Algerian, like what you said, because they want to kill this inside of me, and I know that I'm not so Arab because I don't even speak very good Arab. I know that, but I want to claim these identities just because they are targeted and because they want to kill. Because I am a little Arab, a little bit. I am Muslim, of course. I am a lot of things, but I want to exaggerate because I want to say, yes, you want to kill, you want to destroy all what we are, and I am part of my race. This is what I wrote in my book. I'm part of my race, and I don't want to believe. The only thing I'm sure, I don't want to believe to belong to the world. That's it.
No,
Thank you. We have to.
We can continue.
Yeah?
No.
No, we can continue. No. So thank you very much. Thank you very much, Furia, the translator.